I'm Jackson Pearce, and this video is about my mom and taxes and gay people. It's kind of a collection video. My mom used to mutter under her breath a lot when I was younger. I suspect this is because I was a relatively intolerant child with a penchant for lying and destruction, but that's really beside the point. One thing that she used to mutter a lot was, if you want something done right, you have got to do it yourself. I don't think her frustrated mutterings were really intended to have a life lesson attached, but I found one anyhow. See, when I was a teenager, I always said that I was never ever going to vote because I felt like politics were overly complex, I felt like all politicians were liars, and I didn't really understand how my one tiny vote, like this one little action on my part, could really make the world a better place, could really impact the bigger picture. But then I got older and I started paying a lot of money in taxes, and so I got very, very concerned with where that tax money was going and therefore became very interested in politics and voting. I mean, if I'm forking over this huge percentage of my paycheck every year, I want to make sure that that is going towards something to make the world awesome, or in the very least make everything a little bit easier. So I don't mind paying taxes for things like, straight lines on the roads or parks or, postage, because, those things are great. However, there are some things that I am very frustrated to pay taxes for. For example, this sort of friend of a friend of mine works on Capitol Hill, and she was telling me this story about how she was accidentally sent 4,000 business cards instead of 400 due to a clerical error. 4,000 gold embossed business cards were paid for with tax money. We paid for those. I paid for those. Business cards! And in New York, those state senators who make about $80,000 a year, yeah, instead of working on planting trees or building parks, right now, they're debating whether or not to allow gay people to get married. $80,000 a year, what does that break down to daily that they are spending on this issue, as if it actually requires a debate? They and hundreds, if not thousands of other government officials are sitting around on your tax dime deciding whether or not to be good and recognize that all people deserve to be treated equally, or evil and say that some people are less deserving than others. Actually weighing the pros and cons of being good or being evil. They know that allowing everybody to be legally wed and therefore treated equally is the right thing to do, especially in a country founded on principles of equality. Some of them are just worried about not being reelected, or they're trying to bring religion into it, which, if they're trying to bring religion into it, they really shouldn't be reelected anyhow, since they're supposed to be acting without bias toward their own interest, which includes their religious beliefs. But my point is, pretending that marriage equality is not the right thing to do is kind of like pretending that double-stuffed Oreos are just as nutritious as celery. No matter how much you like the double-stuffed Oreos, senators, you know that celery is the better choice. I really like Oreos, so I probably should have chosen a metaphor where evil was not represented by Oreos. But as my mother often muttered, if you want something done right, you have got to do it yourself. Clearly, New York senators just can't do this right without us getting involved. So if you look in the bar below, where I'm pointing right now, you will find this handy-dandy little website that author Maureen Johnson made. You just plug in your name and your number and all of your information, and it will give you the name of your senator, or if you live outside of New York, it'll give you the information for the governor of New York. And then you can tell them over the phone to vote yes for marriage equality and stop wasting all of this time deciding whether or not human beings are equal. Because the answer is yes. Yes, for the love of God, yes, get over yourself and start debating something that actually has a gray area. If you don't know what to say, it's okay. When you go to the website, a little script will pop up and you just follow it. It doesn't matter how old you are, it doesn't matter if you can vote or not, it really doesn't even matter if you live in New York, although if you live in New York, your call is especially important, so please do it. If you want the world to be a better place, if you want it done right, you have got to do it yourself. Alright, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys again on Tuesday. Oh wait, hang on, I forgot. So several months ago, I said I was doing this contest where when I got to 4,000 YouTube subscribers and 4,000 Twitter followers, I was going to give away Arcs of Sweetly, which is my book that comes out in August, and Enthralled, which is an anthology I'm in that comes out in September. And it has become increasingly clear to me that I overestimated my abilities to get 4,000 followers on either site. It's actually kind of embarrassing. So yeah, if you could subscribe and get your friends to subscribe, I would really, really appreciate it. And again, I'm giving out prizes when I get to 4,000, if I ever get there and stop being so incredibly awkward. Anyway, call your senator. Good night.